What's good, Josh, man? DL Saint. Time for a DL short. So, Lauren Chen was on the PBD podcast a few days back, and I've been trying to catch up. And I was watching a little bit, some clips, some different clips here and there, and I haven't watched the whole thing completely through yet. I'm in the process now. But during this particular episode, Patrick Bet David was there, Adam Sosnick was there, Vinny O'Shana was there. Shout out to all three of them. Those are my guys, real cool dudes. I've known Vinny a very long time. One hell of a comedian, great guy. If you get a chance to watch him do his stand up, man, go do his thing. He is amazing. Recently met Pat Beck David, and also recently met Adam Sosnick. Cool dude. Went out with dinner with Adam. It was a group of us, some fresh and fit people, and Adam was there with some of his people. It was good times. So shout out to all of them. So the conversation shifted towards people changing, right? So this segment, they were talking about the whole Jonah Hill thing. Lauren Chan mentioned something about there's nothing wrong with hoping someone would change for a relationship or whatever. And then Adam kind of took it to a different space. So let's check out exactly what happened here. We're about to pull this up. Check this out, guys.
Crazy.
Well, people don't change. I actually had a conversation with a good buddy of mine who's a full-on Orthodox rabbi living in Jerusalem when I was there in Israel, 7 kids. And I'm like, what's up, dude? How? He's like, dude, I'm the same guy. He's like, now I've changed like 10%. I mean, this was a surfer dude, wild party guy, Miami, who had a situation in his life where he needed to make a change. He goes, but I'm still the same person. So maybe you change 5%, 10%, a little bit. People don't do complete 180s. So if he's
especially not overnight.
For sure.
Yeah.
Arguably ever major life changes. So the point is, if she's this surfer girl that's already doing this, maybe she'll change a little bit. She's not going to completely do a 180 on her complete lifestyle. Just like if I'm like, hey, do you want to go out to a club, Lauren? It's like, maybe you'll go once, but you're not going to go turn into like a party rat.
So Adam said that about change. So I was watching it, in my living room. I'm like, hold on, bro. As far as people changing, like, okay, I see where he's coming from. He's saying people don't change. I would have worded it a little bit different. Like, true fundamental change is very difficult. It's very hard to do. You have to commit to it. You just don't change like putting on a different shirt, or a different pair of shoes. Like, it takes work. It takes a lot of work. And it's normally a catalyst for that sort of change, right? So that's what I was thinking when I was watching this. And then Patrick jumped in and had some stuff to say about it. So let's continue.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
You think people change exponentially?
No. What do you listen? Yes, dramatic, dude. I changed not 10%, bro. Me at 19 years old versus me at 26 years old. It's not a little bit of change. It's night and day what my habits had to do.
Okay.
It all depends on what life you're if you're sick of the life that you got and you want to move on, which Jonah's going and getting therapy and sitting down with people, figuring out a way to how to live his life. He's being in Hollywood. You probably partied with so many people. God knows what rooms you've been in, with what types of people, with how many women, with what hasn't he experienced. So what happens at one point? Like, dude, I don't want this life. I actually want to have a family. I actually want to have somebody. You can't change 5-10%. You have to change dramatically. And that pain is not easy. So if she doesn't want to give up some of the stuff that she wants, she doesn't have to do it. I remember.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I agree more with Pat on this. Like, there's normally some sort of drive or some sort of catalyst that makes you search deep within yourself and decide, you know what, I need to change. And Pat's about to talk about what that was in his life. With me, it was, getting out the streets. And you get to a point where it's like, I got to stay out of the streets, which means I got to change who I am fundamentally and the way I get down. I got to think. Right? I got to set new goals. I got to figure this out. And it was a change. So I think there's some truth what Adam was saying is like, people, they kind of make little course adjustments as they go through life, 10% here, 10% there, and they call it change. But what Pat is talking about And what I was thinking about initially is fundamental change. That is difficult because you are setting a completely uncharted path and you are going against what you've been doing your whole life up until that point. And normally something drives that. And when you have that sort of change, you have to start changing everything about yourself, not just you, but the people around you. And Pat continues with that. So let's check it out.
Dating a girl, loved her till today. We're very good together. Jennifer's friends with her as well. But I got to a point with her where I said, listen, man, I don't know what we're doing next. Okay, you want to go do Hollywood? I don't want to do Hollywood. I want to go be a businessman. But man, we like each other's company. Everything's good. Here's what I want to do. What's that? I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Let's go to church together. What? Are you becoming religious? No. All I'm saying is if we're going to take the next step of getting married, I kind of need help. I don't have a manual. And we got to go belong to some kind of a church, something to learn. So that month of me going through that process for her was so dramatic that she didn't want to do it. And for me, I didn't want to live the life that I was living. I made a massive shift in my life, which, by the way, when you do make a massive shift in your life, like for her, she's been the same for a long time from the standpoint of values. When she was the way she was in high school, she's the same as she is today. When she says she hasn't done drugs, she's been to one club, and because of work and all this other stuff, that's probably her entire life for 29 years. That's not the case with me. I woke up and I said, I'm done. The day I woke up and I said I was done, I probably, if I give you a number, I probably lost 20 people in my life overnight. 20 people. My going to Dublin's crew, my going to Garden of Eden crew, my going to Pimps and Hoes crew in Las Vegas, my crew of going to, these, every one of those, Saddle Ranch crew, my, pool, Charles Billiards, every one of those I lost. The girls, I lost all of them because
and this is what I'm talking about. That type of change, that fundamental change is massive and it's very difficult to accomplish. It's very difficult. And by the way, every place that Pat named, I used to kick it at. Right, Dublin's, Garden of Eden, Saddle Ranch. I was never a guy to go to pool halls. I didn't like to go to billiards because where I came from, billiards were always a problem. In fact, the one time I had drama in the LA area in the San Fernando Valley, it happened in a gentleman's club. It was a topless joint, but we were playing pool. I just don't like being around pool tables. I don't like being in places that got pool tables. It's just, for me, it was always, this ain't gonna end well. And the night in particular, that particular night, that night did not end well for the person that was messing with me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this to say I'm a tough guy, but if you put me in the corner, if you back me up against the wall and I can't get away, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And I had to, that's what happened that night. But outside of that, all those other places, I'm telling you, I've been in spots. I probably was right there, 2 tables away from Patrick Bet-David, just didn't know him. That was before the billions. That's before the success he had. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how the world works. But let's continue.
What are you doing? What happened to you all of a sudden? So some, they're in an upbringing, stable, things are more solid, all this stuff. Some are not. If you do want a dramatic change, like let's just say you want to have a wife and kid, if you truly, like what Vinny's doing right now, I'll give you an idea. Vinny, all of a sudden I'm at church. I'm like, I see Vinny. I'm like, well, what's Vinny doing there? Okay, that's kind of crazy. And then Vinny gets baptized. It's like 6 weeks. I'm like, well, what is Vinny doing over there? And I go record it from the sound. Like, this is the same Vinny? Yeah. You're telling me a story about a girl, with your lips getting swollen, all this. Well, and he's not doing this, and he's not doing that. And then we take him to Bahamas. And I'm like, damn, Vinny's not changed in the last 6 weeks after the Tate visit or whatever. We're on the flight back. He makes a massive decision. Mario's invited him to church. Aaron invited him, all this stuff. Vinny's made a dramatic shift in his lifestyle. Guess what? The people he was kicking it with 8 weeks ago probably don't like him right now.
Nope.
The people he was chilling with, girls like, hey, can I come over at 11 o'clock? Nah, girl, you can't right now.
Yep.
What happened to you? What happened to the old fun Vinny? That's the bullshit you're going to hear. So there's different.
Again, facts, these fundamental changes. A lot of people who might be watching this, they don't really fathom what's going on. Like, what? So what you're saying? You're saying Vinny finally grew up? I mean, he's becoming a man. It's a fundamental shift. A lot of people don't change. They get married, they have kids, and they still do those things they were doing before. They just keep doing it. But when you introduce religion, when you introduce, like I'm really trying to start a new chapter in my life. I'm about to change. Someone like Vinny Oshana, man, dude's out in Hollywood. That's a Hollywood cool kid. He was plugged in. He was plugged in with the A-listers. Still is. Like Vinny is a very charming guy. He's in shape. He keeps himself in shape. He's always been a handsome fella. right? He stays in the gym and he's funny, bro. When you want to talk about top tier when it comes to womanizing, a good comic, bro, he can almost at will snap his fingers and get a brand new woman to come through, almost at will. When especially in a place like LA, you got the right producer, you with the right production team, you got the right agent, you got the right manager, you're on the spot, you in the scene, you walking the red carpets, you getting in, all the doors are open to you. Women notice this. It's like being a rock star. Like when you're a cool kid like that, and that follows you wherever you go. And to walk away from that, that's the fundamental change that Pat is talking about. And it takes a lot of work. And it's not just a 5 or 10% course correction. It's a fundamental change, like a 180.
Different situations that people have. For some that we live the wild life and we want to make a big change, you have to be ready, like Jonah is, to be able to say, I lost this girl. It's totally fine. You got to make that decision as a man. It's tough to do, so it's not easy. Trust me. But your friend that's 10% changed since 7 years old, that's fine. That's not the case with everybody.
I will. Well, I'll say this: when you say it's not the case with everybody, I'll make the case that it's not the case with barely anybody.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying is an anomaly, PBD. How many guys that are gang bang in LA or whatever are like, yep, I made a complete change in my lifestyle. I'm a complete family man now. I've started a business. I'm sorry, you're an anomaly. And respect to you for that. So most people are not making dramatic changes.
I don't think so.
I'll give you an example.
I don't
If
think
Vinny's going to church now, awesome. Mazel tov.
Right.
Amazing. I have not noticed any difference in Vinny. And respect, I mean, it's still the same guy. So here's my point. Your habits might change. Your lifestyle might change.
Say personality.
You're just exactly. That's my
Personality
point.
doesn't change.
That's my point.
No, it's not the point.
Your decisions may change.
And this is where I really disagree with Adam. It's not about a personality. Your personality is your personality. Real talk. I mean, yeah, that might, you might drift this way and that, but I mean, if you're a generally happy person, you're gonna always be a generally happy person unless something tragic happens in your life. And even then, you come back to yourself. If you're generally a miserable person, you're gonna always be generally a miserable person. Like I said, again, unless something really great happens, and then you get back to it. So yeah, what Adam is talking about, I can't quite wrap my head around. But when we're talking about fundamental change, that is very, very rare and difficult for those who do it. Like people do it, but none of them will sit down and be like, yeah, man, it was easy, man. I just woke up on Monday and boom. No more of this, no more of that, no more drinking, no more smoking, no more womanizing. You know what I mean? No more fast cars, no more trips to Vegas, no more gambling. That doesn't happen, bro. It takes time and effort. You have to focus on that change. I'm going through a change right now. Yet another change. It's a big focus. Like, man, I'm through with certain things right now. Like, man, I'm not dealing with that at all. My focus is here now. It's no longer over there. I'm through with that. And I don't even want to be around people who rock in that world. I'm like, I can't. We can, meet casually here and there on the fringes, but I'm not in that no more. You feel me? So let's continue.
Change, but your personality's not changing.
No.
That's my point.
You can't change your personality.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't change your personality, but you can change who you are.
You can change your decisions and your habits.
Here's the question, though. Is being a hoe a personality or a lifestyle?
Oh, well, say this again?
Is being a hoe a personality or a lifestyle?
Oh, it's a lifestyle, girl.
I also think it's part personality, because there are girls that I went to school with in high school, and they weren't at the time doing anything, I don't think, and then you're pregnant 2 years later out of wedlock. That was not a shock to me, even though the lifestyle they were living at the time wasn't that, but just based on their personalities, I knew that was going to happen. Like, I knew there's going to be trouble.
In 1973, Gallup did a poll, asking what percentage of gays in America were born that way and what percentage of gays in America were gay because of their environment. What do you think the percentage was in Gallup when they said what percentage of gays were gay because of they were born that way? Gallup, this is like 70s.
I would say at that time, most of them would have said, or most people would say it was because they were. Wait, are they asking
environment or born?
So this is a nature versus nurture question?
No, they're asking
So and this is what I like about PBD and Patrick Bet-David, like the PBD podcast and Patrick Bet-David. They like to delve into numbers as well. They like to talk about sea changes and shifts. I'll link that in the description. If you guys are watching this, I'll link it. You can watch the whole clip at a later point. You can find out the answer to that question. But when Lauren asked, is this personality, or like what is it? There are a lot of people out there looking for attention. A lot of men, a lot of women looking for attention. And they'll do anything they feel they must do to be a cool kid. They'll do anything they feel they must do to be accepted. So that leads to those guys who are not athletes at all, but they got money and they go out and get all of the cool hoop gear and they go out on the court and they can't play to save their life because they really don't like basketball. They just want to be accepted. And it goes to young women out there, young girls who go out there and they'll wear a 304 outfit. They'll wear clothes with their booty cheeks out or so much cleavage that they barely, with pasties and all that. They'll do it because they want to be accepted and they're looking for attention. But it doesn't necessarily mean that she's loose like that. There are those women. And then there are those people out there who bout that life. You know what I mean? There are dudes out there living, in gated communities, wealthy as I don't know what, silver spoon shoved all in their mouth, and they walking around talking about they cripping, talking about they down for the hood. You know what I mean? And all that stuff, right? But they're rich kids who are trying to be accepted. They ain't really gangbanging. They don't know the first thing about being in danger. They ain't never, none of that. None of that. And then when they get a taste of it, boy, them clothes come off, them red clothes come off, them blue clothes come off so fast, they don't want nothing to do. They go straight to the police. Right? There are people like that. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you got those guys who, there's some guys out there who come up rich and then they really are about that life and they move to the hood. So, yeah, there's people out there who do it for acceptance. They're doing it for attention. But then, you got to be able to tell the difference. And even those people, you could be some rich kid who just had everything in his life and one day wake up and they just make a change, like a real change. No more partying, no more drugs, no more loose women, no more fast cars. Maybe they get into religion. Maybe they focus on business. They make a change in his heart and they have to cut people off. So when you're talking about real, true change, yeah, it takes work to do that. It's really, really hard. For those people making those course corrections, that's not really change, is it? For the fake gangbanger who stopped fake gangbanging, he ain't making no change. He just went off to the next thing. Now he's an influencer. Now he's on TikTok. He's a TikToker. For that young girl who is a virgin, but she likes to dress up like a 304, and then she stopped because now she's dressing more conservatively. She didn't really change. She just on to the next thing. She got more attention by dressing conservatively than she did by dressing as a 304. That's not real change. That's them looking for the next thing. So I just wanted to do that real quick. Just a quick deal short to talk about change. Yeah, it's really, really difficult when you make those fundamental changes. And for those who are out there doing it, keep doing it. Keep pushing forward. Don't go back. Don't go back. Stay committed. You're almost there. And for those of y'all who just cool with the course corrections, hey, man, keep doing you. I ain't mad. You know what I mean? Holla at your boy. I ain't mad at all. Keep doing that as well. But understand those little course corrections, that's not real change. That's just you looking for the next thing. That's just kind of going from this to that. That's not a real change. Right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. Let me know what y'all think. Leave it in the comments below. I hope y'all are having, a good week. And I'm out of here, man. I'm DL Saint. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.